begins at the end of your comfort zone. You ever heard that? Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. It was 1986. I was part of a delegation to go to Guadalajara, Mexico with the sister city of Portland. Portland, Guadalajara, sister city. Well, we were treated like royalty. We dined with the mayor and his staff. This was part of the developing relationship. Well, have any of you been to Guadalajara, Mexico?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Guadalajara, Mexico is in the center of Mexico. It's the long breezes of the ocean. It was a hot and searing temperatures. They loaded us on a bus and they wanted to wine and dine us all because they wanted to show off Guadalajara. So they took us to a huge restaurant. And inside this restaurant was a bull ring. And they had mariachi bands playing. And the beautiful senoritas were coming around with hors d'oeuvres. And then the matador, well, actually they call him the toreador, because they don't kill the bull, he came out and he was putting on a performance. And the bull was going through the gate and just flowing perfectly. And then after that was done, the mariachi bands brought down their music and they called for volunteers to come out and show your machismo and fight the bull. Well, I sat there and I was much younger then, it was 1986. And I always wanted to kind of live on the edge a little bit. So I sat there, but I didn't want to be first. So I watched these fellas who were volunteers. They would go and stand behind this little gate, and then the bull was out there, and they would come out and walk about maybe 20 feet or 30 feet, and the bull would start charging toward them. Boom, they'd run behind this barricade. Well, this went on for about 15 minutes. I go, what the crap is this? I can do that. So I went down, I hadn't had any tequila yet. So I went down and they handed me a cake. Red cake, you all familiar with it. So I walked out, and I probably walked out farther than I should have. And they opened up the gate, and here comes this bull. And it was a young bull. It wasn't a huge one, but it was big enough. And it's running around and around, and then it spies me about a third of the way out in this arena. And it comes charging, and it puts both feet in the ground and just plants them about from here to that exit sign. Puts his nose down towards the sand and starts snorting. Now I know you've all had anxious moments when you had to get up and present and your heart was beating. You had no clue. You had no clue. Trust me on that. So the bull starts pawing and snorting louder and louder. I had this cape in my hand. Now the cape actually weighs about 25 pounds, not like my jacket. Now my only bullfighting experience is what I watched on television. So I had the cape like this. I said, come on, let's go. So that bull charged me, and I'm up like this. Do you think the bull goes for the cape? His horn went through here and flipped me up like a pinwheel. And I just pinwheeled right over the top of him, and he ran around, stepped on my back to add insult to injury, and took off. Now, a normal person in their right mind would run and die behind that barricade. I got, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So I picked up my Ray-Ban glasses, because those were cool in those days. I picked up my watch, I went back, and the matador says, keep the cape down. He goes for your feet. I said, okay. I went back out about the same distance. Cotton mouth, heart beating. I mean, I could hear this heart coming out of my chest. And I went down, and he did the same thing. And when he ran this time, I went this way and then that way, and he tore through the cape, and I ran after that, back behind him. All right, fact or fiction? Raise a hand, fiction.